Happy Monday. It's Monday, January 25th. I didn't record anything yesterday, Sunday, because I wanted to go within, you know. I really wanted to just meditate, go within. Sundays I usually do my spread for the week. And I needed to chew on stuff, right? I needed to chew on stuff. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I took that time for myself to meditate and pray. Did more crying. That helped. It did. It really did, to just kind of let it all out, right? I did some dancing, some grounding, late night eating, which I shouldn't be doing. And I've been doing that actually these last few days. I think it's attributed to that's my pattern. Sometimes when I have these emotions that I'm not wanting to deal with, I tend to overeat at night. And the funny thing is, I was listening to Dana, her weekly reading for a week ago, and again, Dana, hers are really long, but because she listens to the energies and she does a really thorough job. Hers is the You versus Me tarot, and I didn't do my sign one. I did the weekly one. So I was going through the ones that were pertaining to me. She got to Gemini. I think it was Gemini. And she talked about late night eating. So I was like, oh, it is a pattern. It is a pattern. And I know that about myself. And the funny thing is that, like, I had recognized it too. And so I put like a schedule, like I used to do, you know, like when I was really disciplined, I put a schedule up for myself, a workout schedule and a food plan. And I had done that, and I did some cleaning it and moving stuff around too, and that helped to just, you know, ground myself. But I was just chewing on it, and there was a part of me that was going to project, right, in terms of how I was going to speak my truth, like, again, for the third time. I thought about that too. I started laughing at myself. I'm like, really? Speaking my truth for the third time. Third time's a charm, right? And how I was going to do it this time. And there was some projection that was coming out. So I was like, okay, keep chewing on it, right? And then my 2020 song, the song that I attribute to 2020, for me personally, just because of what I put myself through and you know, purposely putting myself through these life lessons for the learning of the life lessons. Because I mean, I was stuck in it before, right? Not knowing. And then I knew and pushed myself through the challenges. So my 2020 song, my personal 2020 song is Katy Perry's Roar. And so that song came on, and I hadn't heard in a while, and you know, getting pumped up as I'm dancing. And then someone from my past reached out. So she often reaches out, and I often think about whether or not I want to reconnect with her. Mostly because there was an imbalance before, and I had already spoken my truth with her about the imbalance in our relationship, and how I needed my space from her too, right? And I for various reasons. And she's been reaching out these couple of times, and last week's tarot talked about, you know, mending relationships. So I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to try this, right? To see how to do life differently with all these people that I've, you know, Put barriers on. So, or space, created space. So she had reached out a couple days ago, but I was like an emotional wreck. So yesterday was a good day to talk to her, and it was good. Like, it was good, and we're gonna have dinner and reconnect. I'm gonna invite her over, and so yeah, so that was good. And then it made me think of other connections and just where I was at with some of those old connections and the heartbreak that came about with some of those connections, and realizing, right, that I don't feel anger anymore or hurt. I don't think I do. I hope not. And even with this individual, right, like my approach, what was I going to do differently? Taking in all the lessons, right, all the nuggets from the different people that I follow. And finally deciding, like, okay, it's not a situation where I have to shut the door, right? I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. And am I going too fast? Yeah, I'm going too fast. I jumped in too fast. But, I feel it's like the pull was there initially, right? For both of us, I think for both of us, the pull was there. And he even brought it up. He's like, I would have done it slow, but it just unfolded in the way that it did. And I think it did it purposefully. I think it did it purposefully to give us both this vision, maybe, or this hope of how it could potentially be, right? Like how we both interacted with each other. I mean, it was perfect. Like it felt really good. Those days, that time period of just, and I remember too, during one of the trips that we took, my oracle card, right, had said to just take things as they came. That this was what did it say? A taste of things to come. And I, yeah, and so it was nice to see the potential, right, of where it could go. But then back to reality, right? Back to the real world of responsibilities and what's going on around us. It at that time I was still working, and then he had stuff to do too, and so there was a sense of disillusionment, almost too. More so for me, clearly, because I am right, the one that just kind of just put it all out there. That's my Achilles heel, maybe, that I do that too much, too quickly, expose myself too much, and get hurt because of my actions, right? So it's like, okay, here's a chance to do things differently. Chance, right? Trying to look at it in a positive way. So yesterday I was thinking about it. Dancing, grounding, cleaning. And then I thought, I think he just needs a friend. Because clearly, if this is a snapshot of what, well, one, I don't want to be someone that he juggles. I just don't. Been there, done that, right? I don't want to be someone where he thinks he has to make time for when there's so much going on in his life. I don't want to be that person. I don't have to be, right? I don't have to be that person. And then I was talking to my good friend, my kindy friend from kindergarten. I've known her since kindergarten. I was talking to her and I was just like, I deserve better, right? And I know my worth. I know my value. And it just sucks that now it just sucks that it's not apparent. It's not clear. And you know what? Chris from Middle Pond said, you know, you gotta make yourself a little more exclusive. A little more exclusive. Okay, well, what does that mean? I mean, don't give it up too quick, Yubi. That's the underline. Don't get up too quick. Don't jump in too quick. Okay. Okay. It felt good to cry it out. It felt good to cry it out. It felt good to reflect on it, to feel it, to sit with it, right? Lean into the discomfort. It felt good to sit with it, because all of these emotions, right? Anger and resentment and just, right? And then realizing, okay, what do I need to do different, right? Taking ownership for my part in it. Clearly, right? And realizing, okay, this is a cycle. There's a new cycle, right? Cycles everywhere, all the time, ongoing. What am I going to do differently? Where I don't really have to say goodbye, you know? And now that I feel like I can sit with that lesson, you know, and that pain, because it's no longer pain. I don't feel pain anymore with that situation, right? Of being left out in the dark, of being thrown a bone, of not being chosen, right? Sense of self-worth, right? I don't feel hurt anymore, really. I'm like, okay, friendship. This person just needs a friend. And I think I think I was a little too naive to really, I mean, I tried. I totally tried to embrace this person's way of doing connections. It's an illusionment, really. It really is. And that's what I'm like, okay, come on, Yubi. You're smarter than this. you're smarter than this, right? Like, and I had a sense of it too initially, of just like the reality is that relationships are work. They're just work, right? Every other relationship that we have is work. He is in a relationship right now with work and family. And I'm sure it hasn't been cake. But he's working at it, right? And there's a sense of disillusionment. I mean, even from my standpoint with you know, one of my connections was just, previous connections was, there was a disillusionment of like, oh, we're never going to have to fight. We're never going to have to argue. And that's what ended up biting us in the butt, really. I came from a household where there was arguing, and I never really saw how they fixed things. Like, it was just this buildup of resentment, right? There was never I never saw how it was resolved. And I remember going into that relationship and my relationship, my long-term, and just thinking, I don't want to cause problems. I don't want to cause issues. So I'm going to the other extreme. And I'm not going to bring up and speak my truth, right? When things bothered me. And what ended up happening? Build up until I would explode every 2 to 3 years. And it was a cycle. 6 times. It was 6 times of build up, because I didn't, in that moment, right, speak my truth for fear of an argument or what could potentially happen, right? Because I never saw that. I never saw how an argument was resolved in a healthy way. And I went from one extreme to the other. And you know, in other connections too, there was even though it was unhealthy, there was like, it matched almost. Like, there was never opportunities to really also deal with conflict, because we were both dealing with our own stuff. And so when we would connect, it was different. It was similar situation, like similar disillusionment, right? Of like, oh, we don't have problems. Well, we don't have problems because there's no real commitment there, right? There's no real commitment. So doing things the way this individual is proposing is unrealistic. It really is, right? And gosh, Evie, come on. I've been around the block enough to know. But I'm glad I know that now. I'm glad I see that now, right? I mean, that's, again, the beauty of it, where when you see it, when you realize it, and you sit with it, you can choose to do something different, right? Right? And so it's not going to take away anything of my worth by extending friendship and just saying, I think you just need a friend right now with everything that you're going through. You really need a friend. And I think I might have said that before, but I wasn't fully healed. I wasn't fully healed. And that's why God shook me in that way. Because I don't shake pretty easily with, I block my heart a lot. I know that. I know that about myself. I can cover up stuff. Apparently I can't do it for very long now, like I used to. But I can do it. I still, obviously, and it's not a good thing. And so I need to see extreme pain, right? Like a guy being severed in half to open that like heart chakra and realize and take a look within, like, okay, stop blocking my heart, stop blocking my pain, deal with it. And I'd never got a chance to deal with it initially because I was too far down the rabbit hole, right? That I needed a distraction. So this person was brought to me to distract myself from what I couldn't let go of before, only to fall in the same pattern. The difference, though, is that in this situation, there's just so many synchronicities all around that I'm more aware of, right? I don't know if it's just to learn this lesson and to move on, really, right? To learn this lesson and to move on. Or if I still need to wait. I don't know that part yet. I just know that I think we're better off just being friends right now. Really. And I'm okay with that now. Now. After I did my crying and healing. So that's what I'm going to propose to this new person. That, he has a lot of stuff going on. I don't want to be something else that this person has to juggle, because that's not what I'm worthy of. But it's clearly maybe only what he can handle right now, manage, right, with everything he's going on. And time will tell. Time will tell. And I'm okay with being friends. And that way I can move on, I can move on. In a way where it's not like severing that tie, right? We can be friends, right? I'm in this flow of repairing relationships. So that's the plan for this week. Whenever it is that we connect, it's going to be just that. It's just going to propose friendship. I finished my statement of purpose. Hey. So, then now I'm just going to, it's due tomorrow. So, everything is due tomorrow. So, I'm going to, there's a program I have to like put everything in. So I'm going to do that. Oh no, it's not due tomorrow. It's due Wednesday. So I'm excited that it's done early. And I'm gonna go work out right now. So and do my meal prepping for the week, and just really honor. I went to bed. I slept a lot this weekend, so I'm really grateful for that. And I'm gonna get myself on a routine. I miss my routine.